obviously we're talking about making choices within an organization. And I want to look at how an organization can set up for that. So you mentioned getting exec buy-in. How do you do that? What's the best way to do that? Does it just come from the top, or does it work its way up?
Well, I think all of us have a hook or two, right? It means something. Something means something to all of us. Yeah, I don't think anyone will ever quote me on that. But I think if you look at your company ambitions and kind of stand in that moment or utopia we were talking about earlier, and then work backwards from there. I think the classic ones have been unlocking savings potential, right? And they shouldn't go anywhere. But on top of that, and hopefully we get the chance to talk about the classification and rechanneling of work that we talked about before. So financial return, I think operational efficiencies is absolutely key for stakeholders or purchase requesters, if you like, in your business as individual customers. And then you've got D&I and ESG and the bits that get people out of bed and excited every morning. I think if you come up with a strategy that goes to your exec team and talks to improved visibility and therefore spend management, the optimization of cost, a consistent experience for them and all of the people that they manage and oversee across the business. And if you can get automation right, that also means speed to market as well. Clearer scope definition, compliant with policies and requirements. I was very heavily involved in IR35 with my teammates, and that's kind of led us to our triage desk type solution. And then
I'm very much
addressing the global skill. Sorry,
I'm just saying I'm very much looking forward to coming on to that triage.
Yeah.
Sorry, the last one you mentioned then was addressing global skills requirements.
Well, the shortages, absolutely, yeah. We talked about that perception piece, and if we take perception as reality, most services procurement people have requesters or stakeholders who will provide some form of uncertain stroke negative feedback at some point in time to say, I'm not sure we're getting the best people. And you try and dig into that and quantify it and qualify it and come back with your findings. And it's really hard unless you can really segment and ensure that you're categorizing correctly and that the suppliers and the managers who you're representing are all really clear and, more importantly, aligned on what the project is and what the outcomes will be.
Yeah, and I think that also comes down to the overall strategy of the organization and how well that's communicated. So you guys going through a massive change at the moment, I know there's very clear kind of strategic objectives that are filtered down. That just helps the whole process, because if you're a buying manager, you understand what the overall company strategy is. I've said this so many times, but I'm just really passionate about it. If everyone in the business understands where you're going, you can all work towards that objective. People can come up with ideas, and their ideas are useful and relevant because they know what objective you're trying to get towards. And in terms of buying, the objectives are clear, and how that fits into what that person is doing, what their department is doing is clear, and therefore you can work more effectively to things like outputs, for example.